For most Christians, it may come as a surprise to learn that the lives of Jesus and his mother are narrated in the Quran. Like the Bible, the Quran claims that Jesus was born miraculously to the Virgin Mary.
Good afternoon.
Sorry.
Good afternoon.
Where do you come from? Palestine? Jordan? Libya?
As in Christian schools, Muslim schools also teach children about Jesus, but their stories are different from the ones Christian children learn.
Because many people don't understand. They think that the Prophet is coming to tell people just to go to the mosque, the synagogue, the temple, and just to worship, and to act different, and to be awkward, and to be difficult, and to see everything wrong. No, 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 no. It is there for them to live life. And there is no example that is better for man than an example of a prophet. And for us as Muslims, the example of Jesus Christ mentioned in the Quran.
How do we call Isa in English? What do we call him? Aman? Jesus, peace be upon him, very good. But being in an Islamic school, I think it's just the general stereotypical attitude that some people have, Muslims and non-Muslims. Islamic school, what do they teach and what's they up to, and how will it affect my child's CV? Allah spoke to Jesus, peace be upon him, and gave him some new rules. And he gave him a book called the Injil. Just like he gave Prophet Muhammad afterwards the Quran.
What I emphasize, that which is common between us and the Christian, between Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Jesus Christ, must be brought together in the life of the children, so that when they live in the wider world, they appreciate that we all come from the same father and we all have the same ideal. We as Muslims, we have to believe in Jesus, son of Mary, so seriously that we believe he is going to be coming as the prophet of the end of time.
إذ قالت الملائكة يا مريم إن الله يبشرك بكلمة منه اسمه المسيح عيسى بن مريم.
The story of Jesus' birth is narrated in vivid detail in the Quran. As in the Bible, an angel tells Mary she is pregnant despite being a virgin. But the story of what follows then changes completely. In the Quran's version, there's no stable, no manger, and above all, no Joseph.
There's no support structure, there's no loving husband, there's no nice midwife. You know, there's no everybody with their bundle of joys and balloons and cuddly teddy bears coming along to say, oh, Mary, wonderful, you know. She is alone.
In the Bible, Mary's role is limited to the passive mother of Christ. The Quran gives accounts of her ancestry, her birth, her childhood in the Temple of Solomon, and as mother of Jesus. She's the only woman mentioned by name in the Quran. Saint Mary is an Iranian film based on the Quran's version of her life.
The film Saint Mary was something that came about because of an inspiration that I always had about Virgin Mary. The story of Virgin Mary mentioned in the Quran. It had a great impact in many Muslim countries. Even Muslims didn't know that how the Quran describes Mary, speaks about her, and how great a lady she is.
پروردگارا منم مریم خدمتگزار تو.
So Mary is treated in the Quran right from her birth, and the way she was born, and the way she was dedicated to God, and the way she was raised, and then the way she was being contacted by the angels, preparing her, giving her the news that something important is going to happen.
وَإِذْ قَالَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ يَا مَرْيَمُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَاكِ وَطَهَّرَكِ وَاصْطَفَاكِ عَلَى نِسَاءِ الْعَالَمِينَ يَا مَرْيَمُ اقْنُتِي لِرَبِّكِ وَاسْجُدِي وَارْكَعِي مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ.
She is seen as the ultimate model of perfect balance.
As Muslim women, we believe that Mary, the mother of Jesus, or as we say in Islam, Isa, is a very powerful role model for us.
She's also seen as a symbol of purity, a figure young Muslim women can look up to.
When someone told me there's a chapter Mary in the Quran, I was like totally gobsmacked. I was thinking, hold on, I went to school with a lot of Muslims, and then none of them told me this. So I said, what, there's a chapter Mary? I said, what, the same Mary that's the mother of Jesus? I said, yeah. I said, no, I've got to get this Quran.
If Mary was here today, as far as I'm concerned as a Muslim woman, she'd be rolling with us, you get what I'm saying? Like, she'd be rolling with us, she'd be dressing like us, you know, she'll be setting an example the way we're trying to set an example.
Before I was a Muslim, you know, I had a red Mohican, I was like into short skirts, I was walking about thinking, yeah, you know, I'm liberated, but I realized men just didn't have no respect for me.
As in the Bible, an angel tells Mary she's pregnant despite being a virgin.
Angel Gabriel comes in and says, I've come to you with the good news. And she says, what is the good news? And angel says, you're pregnant.
What? I'm not even married yet. For us, for a child to be born, there must be a father, there must be a mother, there must be, okay, a marriage. And that's where a child is born.
And the angel says, well, God does what he wants. He just says, be, and it is.
And the angel blew on to Mary, and she conceived.
After she conceives, the Quran's version differs from that in the Bible.
There is no Joseph in the story, in the Quranic story. She's alone, completely alone, with this burden, literally a physical burden.
Instead of being protected by Joseph and giving birth in a manger, Mary's labour takes place alone, under a date tree in the desert.
The discomfort of being heavily pregnant in the desert, alone, knowing that you're carrying this sort of scandalous, burden, if you like. And she's in the throes of labour. And there, in the pain, you see her humanity and you relate to her, and she's like, would that I be a thing undone? Would that I be dead before this?
God spoke to her, comforted her. This is one of the most beautiful things that could ever happen to anyone, that you've been tried and you've gone through the rough bits, and now God comforts you. And God spoke to her and said,
فناداها من تحتها ألا تحزني قد جعل ربك تحتك سريا وهزي إليك بجذع النخلة تساقط عليك رطبا جنيا.
In the Quran, Mary returns to her people. As an unmarried mother, she causes outrage.
She's got to go back to her people and explain it. But instead of being able to explain herself, the angel imposes silence upon her. And the people are scandalized by what's happened.
پدرت که مرد بدی نبود، مادرت هم که فاضله نبود. مریم، این چه رنگیست که به بار آورده ای؟
Mary points to Jesus.
از ما میخواهد با این بچه سخن بگویی.
What did the child do then? Yes, Islam. He talked. Could you believe a baby talking? But that baby, a newly born baby, raised his head up to the crowd and says,
قال إني عبد الله آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا
واذكر في الكتاب مريم إذ انتبذت من أهلها مكانا شرقيا فاتخذت من دونهم حجابا فأرسلنا إليها روحنا فتمثل لها بشرا سويا قالت إني أعوذ بالرحمن منك إن كنت تقيا قال إنما أنا رسول ربك لأهب لك غلاما زكيا قالت أنى يكون لي غلام ولم يمسسني بشر ولم أك بغيا قال كذلك قال ربك هو علي هين ولنجعله آية للناس ورحمة منا وكان أمرا مقضيا فحملته فانتبذت به مكانا قصيا فأجاءها المخاض إلى جذع النخلة قالت يا ليتني مت قبل هذا وكنت نسيا منسيا فناداها من تحتها ألا تحزني قد جعل ربك تحتك سريا وهزي إليك بجذع النخلة تساقط عليك رطبا جنيا فكلي واشربي وقري عينا فإما ترين من البشر أحدا فقولي إني نذرت للرحمن صوما فلن أكلم اليوم إنسيا فأتت به قومها تحمله قالوا يا مريم لقد جئت شيئا فريا يا أخت هارون ما كان أبوك امرأ سوء وما كانت أمك بغيا فأشارت إليه قالوا كيف نكلم من كان في المهد صبيا قال إني عبد الله آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا وجعلني مباركا أينما كنت وأوصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا وبرا بوالدتي ولم يجعلني جبارا شقيا والسلام علي يوم ولدت ويوم أموت ويوم أبعث حيا ذلك عيسى ابن مريم قول الحق الذي فيه يمترون ما كان لله أن يتخذ من ولد سبحانه إذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون وإن الله ربي وربكم فاعبدوه هذا صراط مستقيم فاختلف الأحزاب من بينهم فويل للذين كفروا من مشهد يوم عظيم أسمع بهم وأبصر يوم يأتوننا لكن الظالمون اليوم في ضلال مبين وأنذرهم يوم الحسرة إذ قضي الأمر وهم في غفلة وهم لا يؤمنون
In the Quran, this is the first miracle of Jesus. The Bible's first miracle is Jesus turning water into wine at the age of 30.
Jesus is born without a father, and he's born speaking.
The ability to talk as a newborn child is one of many miracles not recorded in the biblical account of Christ's life.
We have more sayings in the Islamic tradition about Jesus than you'll find in the Gospels themselves. So there is a possibility that other things did happen.
There were many Gospels around that didn't all make it into the New Testament. And the church tried to limit the number of Gospels and lives of Jesus.
Isa alayhi salam had the power to take mud in his hand, shape it and form it into a bird, and he will say to the Creator, let it fly as a bird, and it will fly.
The miracles performed during Jesus' life may cause debate among Christians and Muslims. But it's the Bible's and the Quran's conflicting accounts of his death that go to the heart of the differences between the two faiths.
It so radically challenges the Christian view that I think it really bothers a lot of Christians. Just the idea that, hey, this is our Jesus.